So now we're looking at y equals the cosine of x plus 1, which actually I should say a lot of times might be written like 1 plus the cosine of x. So there's no ambiguity about whether or not that 1 is in the function or not. I mean, it's not because there's no parentheses. But I'm just saying sometimes these are the two ways of saying the same thing. What does this mean? This means that this function is going to look almost exactly like this function. It'll have all the same y values, but then we're going to add like 1 to all of them. They'll all be 1 more than they would have been had that 1 not been there. So what that means is we're going to do the same stuff. We know we're doing the cosine function, so we're going to co-up 1. We're still breaking it up based off those quadrantial angles. But what happens is, here's where we start to focus on what I'm going to call the zero line, which, you know, in a normal trig function is just a line at y equals 0. But if I take that whole function and push it up 1, that entire line gets shifted up 1. So let's pretend like this is 1. I'll draw a new 0 line here. So just imagine that whatever's happening on this blue line up in this function will now be happening at this line where y equals 1, because that's a 1. Now, of course, if this were like a plus 2, I would shift it up 2. If this were a minus 3, I would draw a new 0 line at negative 3. And that 0 line acts the same way that this x-axis up here acts. Yes. So that's it. From once I know that 0 line's happening, I'm going to do the similar things I do for cosine function. So cosine function I know cos up 1. So it's going to start up here, which is now actually 2. And the cosine function goes down to the 0 line. It goes down 1, like same distance down, back up, and then back up. And then down to the 0 line, and then down 1 below, or the same distance below the 0 line, back up, and then back up. And then I'm going to draw this the way we draw all these things. Concave down, concave up, concave down, and call it good. Same function, just shifted up 1 unit, much like when you were little scallywags and you knew y equals x squared looked like this, and if some yahoo said, oh yeah, what about this? You'd be like, please, don't waste my time. I'm going to just shift that whole thing up 1. This is no different.